Today's video is in a town called Norfolk, Nebraska. 3 men stormed the U.S. Bank branch in Norfolk, Nebraska on September 26, 2002. They were 23-year-old Jose Sandoval, 21-year-old Jorge Galindo, and 21-year-old Eric Vela. The fourth suspect was the one who cased the area. Just shortly before 8:47 in the morning, the 3 men entered the U.S. Bank, brandishing weapons and demanding money. At 8:47 a.m. is when the first 911 calls came out. Police arrived at 9 a.m. They found 4 bank employees and 1 customer dead. So 5 people at the bank died. After they got what they wanted, they went a few blocks away to a house occupied by a family, and they burst into that house and they stole the family's Subaru. At 11:30 in the morning, the suspects were arrested about 76 miles away in a town called O'Neill. They of course stole another car somewhere in between that, as they were found in a different stolen car. It was a stolen pickup that they were finally arrested in. Around midnight the next morning, the 4th suspect was arrested. His name was Gabriel Rodriguez. He was 26 years old, and he was arrested for also being involved in the robbery as the person who kind of cased the area. September 26, 2002 will always be the day that Sue Stair remembers very vividly. She is one of the fortunate employees to have made it out of the bank alive. Sue Stair's job was an internal auditor, and so she didn't normally work at the bank. She was just there on that day to talk with some employees and to do some audits. And so she kind of happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, as that kind of seems to happen with some of these crimes. She was just from Lincoln, Nebraska, and traveled over. She says that within about 40 seconds of her going inside, starting to talk to some of the employees, was when the 3 men burst in. She says that she didn't see a couple of them enter. She only saw one of them, 21-year-old Jorge Galindo. She said she was standing in the office, and I guess that's where the branch manager's office was, and that is when Jorge came in. She says her first instinct was to just move away from the middle of the office to the wall. I guess she thought if she was out of the way, hopefully she would be saved. So because Sue was so scared, and because she was kind of just looking up at the ceiling, kind of just hoping and praying that she would be okay, she didn't really notice or know how many people were shot or killed. She mentioned that she heard a couple shots, but she assumed, just like pretty much everyone else, that the robbers probably just shot up into the ceiling to scare people. Because as I mentioned, not many bank robbers actually go in and kill people. That's a very, very minor amount. So before I forget, I wanted to mention the 5 unfortunate victims who died. 29-year-old Lisa Bryant, 43-year-old Lola Elwood, 42-year-old Joe Mosbuck, 50-year-old Samuel Sun, and 37-year-old Avon Tutton. So those are the 5 unfortunate people who lost their lives in the bank that day. It's not saying exactly which one of those was the customer. So 23-year-old Jose Sandoval, one of the ones who actually went inside, besides the robbery, the murders at the bank, he also was found guilty of murdering 2 other people about a month before the robbery occurred. And those people were a guy named Travis Lundell and a guy named Robert Pearson. Travis Lundell lived as Sandoval's roommate. So it doesn't say much more than that, so I can only guess that maybe Lundell heard about the potential robbery that was going to take place, or maybe Sandoval offered him to come with him to the robbery and he refused, and he maybe killed him because he didn't want him to tell people about it. I don't know. That's kind of my guess. I just found out that the actual bank was torn down, and in its place they put a little memorial for all 5 victims. And so it actually kind of turned out in a good way, because I wasn't sure if there would be any kind of, you know, memorial or resemblance of a memorial to the 5 victims if the bank was still there. So I guess in a way it's kind of cool, because now I can kind of at least pay my respects and show you guys the memorial. So yeah, I'm here at the memorial, and this memorial, like I mentioned, is exactly where the bank used to stand. This is the corner of Johnny Carson Boulevard and West Passawalk Avenue. The bank stood right here. So in its place, they put each of the 5 victims around the outside of this like star. So each point represents each one of the people who passed away. This is the one time where I wish I had my drone with me. It could show you the star, but unfortunately I couldn't find my drone when I left for this trip, so bear with me. So all 3 of the men that robbed the bank and shot and killed all 5 people, all 3 of them were convicted and sentenced to death. So all 3 of them are on the Nebraska death row. The 4th guy, that was the one who was outside, he was convicted and sentenced to 5 life terms in prison. So because he wasn't the one who actually shot and killed anyone or went inside at all, he stayed outside the whole time. So because of that, he was spared the death penalty. Sad but interesting story I thought I would share with you. Like I mentioned, a lot of these kind of bank robberies, they never seem to have much violence. Usually it's just they go in, get the money, get out. So this was one of the rare ones that kind of went above and beyond what the normal is. If you're new around here, my name is Harmon. I go on different excursions every week where I film different infamous places, people, or crimes. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell next to it. That way you get notified of every new video I put out. And until next time, thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next one.